quite another exciting episode. It's more learning, it's more skills, and it's more sharing from what I'm doing at the farm. And today, like you're used to, I'm not alone. I'm joined by one big farmer who some of you knows her, and she's here to learn and to get more information about farming, all about onion farming. And because of the love she has for you, she decided she's not going to get the skills she want to share everything that I share with her. You are going to get it to get today. So with me is Bovi Farm. You all know her, who is our visitor, our farm visitor today, eagerly and very willing to learn. You, by the way, you look empty. You look very empty with a basket that is in need of all the skills.
Farming skills. Yes.
Farming skills. Welcome to our farm.
Thank you so much.
This is our small farm, or it's our big farm.
It's quite big.
It's not big, it's small. And I'm assuring you for whatever you're looking for, the skills that you're looking for, this year to get them.
Fantastic.
Yes, before we start our training today, which is on onion farming nursery setup and also the management of the seedlings, I would invite you to this YouTube channel, which is Farm with Fred. By the way, you're among the first few faces in this channel. People are used to see me alone. So you have, who is lucky? Me, I'm very lucky to have you.
I'm very lucky to be hosted.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Farm with Fred, and thank you if you're watching us today. Thank you so much for joining our live stream today. So today I've just come to Farm with Fred to gain some amazing knowledge about onion farming, and also the knowledge about how to set up a fantastic farm, a huge farm like what Fred is doing here, which is an amazing work. My name is Emma. I am the CEO of Movie Farm. You can check out Movie Farm channel. It's a small channel. We've started small, but we are growing, and I'm very happy to be here with Fred. With Fred.
Yes, Fred himself. Today I'm rolling with the boss, CEO. So if you have a job that you'd like to employ me on my referees, you'll see Emma as my referee. Emma, CEO Movie Farm. So I'm rolling with big people today. So we start our training, and I'll start by a simple description or a simple history when it comes to onion farming. Because when we talk of onion farming, or when people think of onion farming, all they think about is the growing onion at the farm. When they think of investing in onion farming, all they think about is growing of onions. And they usually leave the basics, or they usually leave the big elephant. And the big elephant is always setting up the nursery. If you fail in setting up the nursery, you failed in production. Like my thing has always been, or my move has always been, onion is a game of numbers. And the more the numbers, the more the tons, and the good the money. If you're able to achieve the required production quantities per acre, regardless of the market price, I'm assuring you're going to break even. For example, we say an acre is supposed to produce at least 18 to 20 tons per production. And as we speak at the moment here in Kenya, the cost of production is at 200,000 shillings per acre. So with 18 tons, even if you sell your onions at that shillings, you are able to break even, or you are able to get something out of what you are doing.
Okay. Yes.
And majority of the farmers who are failed in onion farming, who complain about onion farming, who say that onion farming is not a good job or is not giving them whatever they are looking for, is because they failed one test. And it was not the test of investment, it was not the test of the production, it was a test of raising the seedling. Setting up the nurseries and raising the seedlings. And that is what we are going to learn today. That is the knowledge that I'm going to share with you. Now, at the end of it, your basket will be full. Yes. And as you can see in this small farm, I have two sections here. One which is this section.
Yes.
This is not the nursery. We have the nursery bed and the seed bed.
Okay.
The nursery bed and the
Seed bed.
seed bed. Those are two different areas. The nursery bed, where we are going to focus our discussion today, is the section where we raise our seedlings.
Okay.
The seed bed is where we transplant the seedlings to grow the onions.
Okay.
And whatever we have here is the seed bed.
Okay.
I got, other than farming, I also do trials. There is a company that gave me some seedlings to do their trials, to see what they are doing.
Okay.
So those seedlings I came and planted next to the nursery.
So you got already grown seedlings?
Yes, already raised seedlings. Yes. Because there are the other farmers who are not a blessing, or they're not doing the nurseries, because the nurseries needs a lot of technicality. So they usually take their seeds to the propagators. They are propagating them at a cost, and they come and grow them.
As a farmer, which method do you prefer? Do you prefer a farmer doing that directly for himself, or do you prefer them buying?
I will give you a very simple answer to that. Buying seedlings, or sticking a seedling to the propagator, or setting up your nurseries. In our discussion, we've talked about game of numbers and breaking even. The more you bring a lot of cost in your production, you become less competitive in the market. There is a farmer who is always forced to hold the onions in the store, not because they cannot get the customer, or because whatever the client is giving them or the market is giving them is less than what they used to produce the onions. Every time you buy seedlings, now let's start with buying seedlings. When you buy seedlings, in most cases, you find the cost of by the time you plant your seedling the way I've planted mine here, the cost is double what should have been if you had leased your own seedlings. Because, like, for example, I'll give you a very good example. A kg of premium varieties in Kenya is going for at least 40,000 shillings. If you go buy ready-made seedlings, the cost is between 80,000 to 100,000. So you see, you already have an added cost to your seedlings, which is not a big issue if you are able to do your mathematics well, or the market that you are looking up to, because you also look up to different markets, allows you that. Now, but when you lease the seedlings, the additional cost of leasing plus the 40,000 of buying the seeds is less than 20,000. Less than 20,000.
But I think the reason why sometimes we buy is because we do not know how to do the same thing that we've done here. So I'm here to learn. I do not want to buy anymore.
Exactly. The biggest reason is farmers don't know how to lease their seedlings. And that's why I'm here, and that's why you visited. You're among the first few farmers who visited when I'm in the nursery setup, and I'm expecting more, because we have around 5 weeks before we transplant here. So I need more farmers to come and learn at this point. But the expectation of farmers, they want to come and learn when it's already in the field. They would have missed a lot when it comes now to raising the nurseries. But the good thing is we have a regularly here via Farm with Fred. Those who want to follow Movie Farm also will get to know more about onion farming. Yes, yes. So after the nursery, this how transplanting looks like. This one is already 6 days old. We transplanted this it a few days after sowing the seeds. This one, the seedlings are 2 days older than these.
Okay. So tell me about this. What's the spacing? What's the variety? What do I need to look out for when I'm buying this one?
Now, I think we conclude about the spacing and the variety. I want to take you step by step from the beginning. At the end of it, I'm going to answer this question.
Okay.
Hope I've answered you the question about buying the seedlings or leasing your own seedlings. It's cheaper to lease your own seedlings. It's expensive to buy seedlings. So we go now to before we go to, I take you to the preparation section. I first want to bring you. We have two nurseries here. This section here, from this region, you see around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The six beds. They are also they are around 2 days younger than the other seedlings.
Only 2 days.
2 days younger.
Okay.
So these and that, they are 6 days old. But now on this section here, which has been exciting and has been bringing a lot of conversation and among the biggest debate that I've been having, is this section here, which as we speak, the camera, I don't know whether the camera can have as a good view like the one that we are viewing, which is already 8 days old. This one is 8 days old. 8 days old, yes. This section here, we've achieved, as we can see, we've achieved around 90% germination.
Yes.
This is around 90% germination, and I'm so hopeful that I'm going to achieve more than this, or we are going to get more germination, because you can see they are still popping up. We are still getting more seedlings out of this. And you know, I don't know where you come from, whether there is this conversation where people usually say Emma has an hand in that. Uko na mkono ya kupanda. Uko na mkono ya kupanda.
I've had that.
It has germinated like this. Sababu Fred ako na mkono. Hakuna kitu kama hicho. There is nothing like it's magic or there is an ad in that. All you need is the techniques.
Okay.
Yes. And now, before we came to this part, which is among the biggest achievement, or among our biggest thing that we've achieved, there is another process.
Okay.
Yes, because you may be excited how we've reached this point, how we did, how we've been managing, but there is a process to this section to get here. And since now you came, I'm ready to take you through the process. You've had overseen that says enjoy the process. Now I want to take you through the part of enjoying the process.
Enjoying the process.
I hope
and
you're
getting 100%
100% germination. So it doesn't start here. There is a journey up to where I am. I've already shared all the episodes from the selection up to this point, and those who have been following have already followed up to where we are at the moment. And I'm so happy that the comment and the reactions that I'm getting are so positive, because when somebody comes on the comment section and tells you, so this is what I missed, that's why I didn't get this and this. When you have an engagement on the comment section, it gives you a psych, it psychs you, it gives you, it raises your spirit to keep sharing and giving more and more. So many people have been asking, what motivates you? What motivates me is you succeed. Happy you, happy me. Because when you share a story of success, then you tag me with that story of success. That's what motivates me. Nothing pays me, nothing motivates me. But when I wake up to share my success so that it can help another farmer, that's what keeps me going.
Okay.
Yes. So before now we come to the seed, we come to the variety, we come to the achievement of this stage. I want to take you to the other section of the farm. I show you 2-3 things, how to prepare, how to raise the bed. Like we said, it's the nursery setup and the seedling management. Now we conclude our show here, and we say goodbye on where the planting section is done. So let's go.
You will take me through all these and
yes.
and
Everything. I'm going to. You'll be surprised to know that is not fertilizer. That's not fertilizer. Yes.
You'll tell me more.
I'm going to tell you more.
This is exciting.
Very exciting. And one of the best experience. So Emma, to start with, every time you think of setting up an onion nursery, there are several things that needs to come to your mind. Like we said, this is the most crucial part. This is the foundation of farming. You miss anything or you miss something on the nursery preparation from the beginning, you are done.
Because I've seen losses.
You have done. On that section where we've done the nurseries, that we are going to discuss that later. It's a 1-acre nursery.
You'll tell me more
About that. Now, before I tell you about it, I want to give you a very exciting story. There is a farmer I visited who had done 2 beds for an acre.
Yes.
2 beds. Do you know how many beds I have there? I have 16 beds of 20 meters long. 16 beds.
Okay.
And there is this farmer who had done 2 beds, even they were shorter than mine.
And that's why I asked about the spacing, because
The spacing.
I have no idea.
we are going to discuss about the spacing later. Now, let's go to the basics. Let's go to the things that you need to know, or the things that you need to start with when you are starting your nurseries. One thing you need, and I know that is what has excited you most, is the source of water. The source of water. I think we can come nearer and show the exciting part of the farm and what excited you most. The reason why I'm here and the reason why I usually tell people I'm in Sagana is because of this big river. And for your to surprise you, this is the less amount of water we ever received in this farm. It's now magical chini sana as you speak. Few months ago, the water levels were beyond our expectation. The good thing, that time I was not in Kenya. Ningelazo, I see you that because everything in this farm was swept. We watched all the dramas, we watched all the horror movies. Even Kazo herself was unable now, was so insecure because the water levels were beyond our expectation. So finally the water levels has come down, and we have now what brought me to this farm, or what brought me to come and settle here, was this water. And from that water, I'm also so lucky that at the moment I've run away from using of petrol and diesels and gas. I usually use the solar powered pump, and that is mostly. So when you're selecting a nursery area, one, have water, and not just water, enough water.
Being a farmer is
being a farmer is
having water.
Enough water. Being a farmer is not taking a shower, where depending by the amount of water you can shower. You can, people usually shower using 50 liters, some even 1,000 liters in a swimming pool, 20 liters. When I was in high school, sometimes used to shower even using a cup of water. You a jug, me a cup. Sometimes we don't even shower. Yes, like when it's cold.
Can a cup really fit?
Yes.
Wow.
That right, it was enough. It was water, that is what was available during that time. Now, when it comes to farming, please don't be like me when I was in high school, where a cup of water was enough for me. You need enough water. And enough water is water that no pump, no irrigation machine can be able to draw all of it to your farm. If you have a well, if you have a borehole that you can be able to pump and finish that water, don't start farming.
Waiting for it to come up again.
Don't start farming if you can finish the amount of water that is in your well or that is in your dam.
Wow, that's interesting. True. I agree.
If possible, have flowing water. So that is one of the factors, water. The next thing you need to consider is the security. How secure is your farm? In this nursery that we've set here, we've used around 40,000 shillings. That is what we've sold there. That is money. That is money that has been sold. Imagine of a day that we wake up and found everything has been uprooted. Where will we start? Will we start going to the police to tell the chief, to go to the witch doctor, to go to the pastor? Where will we start? That a conversation we don't want to have as farmers. Security should be there. Security is not something which we need to compromise on. And when you talk of security, we are not looking at thieves alone. We are not looking at people who will come and uproot. We are also looking at wild animals. I remember you telling me a story that you've used the electric fence in your farm because of the elephants.
Yeah, we did that.
You did that. You have the electric fence because of the elephant. You see, you've already taken the precaution because you know how elephant does. The elephant can sleep. It will going to destroy everything. And it usually goes or steps on a very critical point of the farm, especially the nurseries where you just transplant. So security, you are supposed to look at all corners of it. Like in this area, we also have so many monkeys, but Kazo is taking care of them. That's why you cannot see her around at the moment. She's doing her job very well.
And you've told me they are not equal.
Yes. This liver usually at the lower part section of the liver, there are a lot of hippos. But now, before I came here, I was on the lower section, Masinga area, and we used to receive 1,000,001 visitors, hippos at night. So sometimes they would overwhelm us and we would let them come and eat instead of killing people. So when I came here, among the things that I considered was, the hippo cannot be able to climb such a terrain. It cannot be able to climb. Yeah, I'm on the higher side. So hippos were left on the lower side. The crocodiles were left on the lower side. So if you know how to swim, you can swim, yes. Sifi. You don't know how to swim?
No, I don't know how to swim. That's a discussion for another day.
Okay. So security, no hippos, no wild animals, no this, no nothing. So that's another aspect you need to look at when setting up security. The next thing you need to look at is the farm where you are going to sow your seeds. And when we talk of that, we look at the soil. And now, when talking of the soil, just by viewing this soil the way it is, you cannot be able to tell this soil whether it's the best soil. Just by viewing. There are so many things that you need to consider. One, you can take this soil to the lab, do the soil analysis, and be able to know whether it's suitable for the nurseries or whether it's suitable for the crop that you want to grow. If you cannot take that to the lab, what you need to consider, or what you need to bring in,
Mm.
is you consider the previous cropping.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
previous cropping is the former crop that was
It's
done
done there.
there. Is it of the same family with the
What you want to
with
grow
what
right
you want
now?
to grow, or what you want to raise? Because, like for example, the onions that you've done, if the crop was, we had done a crop of the same family previously, it could have been disastrous to us because of one, the soil pest. We have soil. Do you know the soil pest? The soil pest, the soil diseases, also the nutrition. In most cases, we are able to take care of the nutrition because we can do the guesswork and be able to take care of the nutrition. That's why we say control the pH. I'm going to show you how I used to control the pH. Bring in the manure, bring in the fertilizers. We are able to control the pH. But for the diseases, now you can't be able to do that manually or by guessing. So by knowing the history, by testing the soil, you are able to know your soil better. Yes. Also, still on the soil, when setting up the nurseries, avoid shade, or avoid areas that are shaded. Yes, avoid areas that are shaded. If the area is shaded, please avoid that shading as
For your nursery, or even for the crops?
for today we are discussing for the nursery, but for the whole crops, because of I've visited a few farmers who've done their nurseries under tree shade.
That's why I'm asking, because mine is under tree shade.
Under tree shade. Avoid
Actually,
that.
pawpaw trees.
Pawpaw trees.
Yes.
Avoid that. Don't do your nurseries under any shade. If your area is very hot, you can bring in the shading, your artificial shading.
Okay.
But the reason why we are avoiding under the shade, I want to give you the science behind why tree shades.
Please.
You see, like your pawpaw trees, the more they branch, you see how they usually form their branches.
Yes.
Their roots are always the size of that branch. So the level their leaves are, that way also their roots are. So whatever you give your nursery, it's being fed by the root of the pawpaw. Also, they are also idling your nurseries from the direct sunlight. And back in school, we learned about photosynthesis. Among the biggest contributors of photosynthesis is the sunlight. So when you shade it, no matter maybe you are assuming there is enough light, but when you've shaded them, you are limiting the amount of sunlight that they are receiving for photosynthesis, and that is where the production or the processing of food is.
Interesting. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. That a class you need to pay for. So avoid areas where there is shade. Because by doing them there are so many things that may end up affecting your seedlings. You'll see, you've seen some seedlings growing very tall. I'm pretty sure you've experienced that in your farm.
I've seen them. They are tomatoes, and I've seen that.
They are growing very tall. It's because of the shading that you put. Yes, so make sure your seedlings are as exposed to the sunlight or to the light as much as you can. The other farmers who are doing them under shade net, that is a class of another day. We are going to discuss about it. The effect of doing it, or the importance of years of doing it. Still on the soil, another thing you need to avoid is, don't do your nurseries where there was you had poured your manure. You see, when you clean up your goat shed.
Why are you saying all the things that I'm doing right now?
When you clean up your goat shed, when you clean the goat shed, there is where you go heap your manure.
Yes.
Don't do your nurseries there. Yes.
Wow.
You should avoid that.
And I told my person, this one is manure. Let's put a seedbed there.
So you are guilty as charged.
Very guilty.
So avoid those places. in your point, or the reason to why so many farmers usually consider doing it, and in the nursery area, they usually think, or in their thoughts, usually think that that's the best place
Yes.
where you get enough nutrition.
Yeah, the soil has already the manure, so you know it's a waste if you don't plant there.
Yes, but now manure. Manure has so many nutrients and so many organic product, organic product, and so many nutrients. And among the many nutrients, and which is in high quantities in manure, is nitrogen. Yes, nitrogen is very high. And when you placed manure in a certain section, and this manure was wet, it drained some fluid
That food.
to the ground.
Yes.
And there was a lot of nitrogen that was
Seeping
to the ground. When we are raising the seedling, we usually use a seedling that is healthy, that is thick. We usually say it's a pencil thick. And nitrogen is among the things that discourages the seedling to grow big and to grow healthy. It encourages it to grow leafy and to grow taller. So now you have imagine of these two cases, your nursery is under the shade, purple shade, and in a place where you've done manure. So at the end of it, your seedlings becomes taller than you. When you transplant them, they sleep, and you never wake up again.
They are very thin.
They are very thin and very weak, because you've given them a lot of shade. You've given them a lot of nitrogen. You've shown them you grow, speed up your growth. Speed up your growth. It's just like a small baby who has been born, and we've now started
giving them
the light lunch. The light lunch that I usually do. The baby is supposed to breastfeed and take soft food. Now it's you guys, it's given that you're giving the baby. Now what will happen to the baby? The hair will start growing brown. The neck will start growing tall. The baby will start growing weak. When the weed comes, blows the baby away. The same thing happened to the seedlings. So when there is high nitrogen, it becomes a disaster. When you go to the field, remind me to tell you about foliage. Nitrogenous foliage. I'm going to give you that story once we are there.
Okay.
Yes,
wow,
yes,
this is
yes.
amazing.
It is as amazing as that. No school will ever taught you this.
Yes.
No,
Definitely.
this is from the school of experience. Yes. So from the soil, selecting the soil. The next thing is the skills and the seed that you go with.
Yeah.
And for the skills, here I am to give you all the skills. So as you can see, we've already formed the beds. In this section, you see we've already formed the beds.
Yes.
And we don't do them manually. Like in this area, you can see we have the string that we've been using to form the beds.
Yeah.
This is what usually guides us. We don't do things the way they are done by normal people. We do them professionally. We do them with a touch of professionalism and skills.
Yeah, because me, I'll just go and say, okay, here.
We call it the skill set. Going to farming with skill set. Yes. Plus the input, plus you, plus your willingness, plus your site, plus all the money, all the capital.
Wow.
The skill set.
So tell me more about the beds now.
The beds.
The measurements, the
one thing you need to know about the beds. You see, my beds are around 1 meter.
Okay.
The reason why I've done them 1 meter is to prevent you from doing from working on your bed this way. Because, like, for example, stand on that section. When you stand there, you can be able to work in this bed. Either you are sowing the seeds, or you are weeding. From that region, you can even do the center. And me, from my side, I can be able to up to this center. So there is no stepping on top of the bed, or on top of the nursery bed, on the seed bed. So that's why I usually prefer doing a seed bed or doing a nursery bed of 1 meter to avoid stepping on the top of the seed. So there are so many things that I've done. Leo nakupea jembe. Take this one. In school, we were told when digging your farm, do a deep dig. And in most cases, when you talk of deep digging, you are told to dig twice. You see, to dig twice. You see, when for example this jembe, this one measures around 30 centimeters. When you dig twice the size of this jembe, you've dug 60 centimeters. You brought up the soil that is below there, that is 60 centimeters below there. And below the most nutritious soil, or the soil that carries nutrients for the vegetables, is usually between 10 and 20 centimeters. So when you bring the 40 centimeters up, when you bring the 60 centimeters up, you brought a soil that will be of no help to you. So when you are digging, you're supposed to just that enough. One jembe is enough. Turn one jembe. That's enough. Turn one jembe. That's enough. Turn one jembe. That's enough. You can see it's even the soil is really easy for me because that's what I did. And flatten the beds that way. So that's a concept that farmers need to do. And while digging, you come heaping your soil according to how you've measured. You've measured your bed. Heap the soil, and make sure your bed is flat. You see, from both sides. You can also try dig. You see how easy it is. Because I have done it before, because it's this is now the process that I was telling you about. It's as easy as that. So you dig. It's as simple and as easy. You see?
So tell me about the measurement.
The measurement.
Like this from here to here,
it's 1 meter.
1 meter.
Yes, around 1 meter is around 3 feet. You can do it 90 to 100 centimeters, which is 1 meter. So that's how we do it. And make sure, because whatever we are bringing here, we are bringing tiny seed. So these big soil crumbs, you're supposed to make sure as you dig, you hit them or you break them. Make sure that you break the soil. You break the soil to that capacity. Yes. So this is a process. You're supposed to continue also enjoying the process.
Let me heap it for you.
Please enjoy the process.
Not to watch.
Yes, don't watch me. Today, don't watch me. So, as you prepare your bed this way, this is the same point of preparation that you're supposed to introduce your manure. Because as you dig, you are able to mix your manure.
So you don't pour your manure on the top and leave it there?
In my class, I don't encourage that. Because when you pour your manure up there, you expose the manure. And like I told you about nitrogen, it's very volatile. And when it's hit by the sun, you're going to lose it. So remember, the manure acts as organic matter and it has a lot of nutrients. So when you bury them in the soil, the next thing what happens, and the soil becomes wet, they start releasing the nutrients. But when it's on the top, it's just not of any help to the soil. And if it's going to help the soil, not for the intended purpose.
Yes.
You see? Remember now, our main goal is for the seedling or for the seed that you are going to sow here.
Yes.
So we mix the manure. You can mix the manure. Make sure it's thoroughly mixed, and you are good to go. On the same note, we talked about the soil pH, which is the acidity or the basic of this alkalinity of the soil. We usually use lime. In my case, I use granulated lime. That is what you saw on the upper part, and that it was fertilizer. At this point is also when we introduce the lime, because we need it. I told you between 10 to 15 centimeters, between 10 to 20 centimeters, that's where we need to make sure that the soil is done well. The reason why I'm choosing that point of between 10 to 15 centimeters to work on it thoroughly, remember, when we are doing our soil testing, soil analysis, we are told take a sample, dig a hole of around 15 centimeters. Take a sample from there, not 60 centimeters. So that is
not the top soil.
Not the top soil. That's why we are turning the top soil to the lower side and bringing now the 15 centimeters on the upper side. You see?
Yeah.
So that now we can have the organic matter, the nutrition, and also the good soil for our crops. Also, when you dig your soil the way you've dug it, we also create aeration. You know what aeration means? Circulation of oxygen. Back in school, the principals, you know, one of the professors, a big professor in a big university in Kenya, we ended up meeting with him, and I asked him, and what did you guys teach us back in school? Because it's not applicable in the field. He told me, we taught you the principles. The practical bit, it's you to learn. Yes, we already give you the principles. And these principles, now I want to give you among the principles that we learned in school. We were told for a seed to germinate, we need what? We need warmth, we need water, and we need oxygen. Not the oxygen that is in the atmosphere, it's the oxygen that is in the soil. Yes, so by digging and loosening your soil, you see, you're creating the aeration. You allow the oxygen to circulate inside the soil. So these are very important practice for anybody who wants to set up a nursery. And talking of a nursery, onion nursery. This is very, and also, you know, the onion seedlings are very vibrant. They are very vibrant. They develop so many roots. So when you loosen the soil, you're giving them a very good network to travel, to go get as much nutrient from the soil as possible. Remember, when you're preparing, the manure was sprayed in the whole bed, the lime was sprayed in the whole bed, the water will be sprayed in the whole bed. So you're giving the seedling the freedom to go get nutrients where they can be able to reach. If there is an underpan, if your soil is hard, they are not going to get the required nutrients. So that's how we are supposed to dig. That's how we are supposed to prepare the soil. But it's not yet done. This one is not yet done. So from this section, we drop the jembes, and now we come to the laking and to the flattening. This is also very important too, because one, you are able to get the big soil clumps that you are able to hit. Also, you are able to flatten, like you can see. It's very, very, very good. Yes, so you do the flattening of the bed using the leg. You do the flattening and make sure it's as flat as it's very flat, very flat, very flat. You see, you are able to the big particles of the soil. Yeah, you're able to move them. If there is the glass or anything that may hinder the formation of or when you are going to work on your bed, because also there is more that is left. You are going to do with your heart. You are supposed to make sure that the beds are very soft, or you are very good to work on with that with ease. So this is how we do it. Do it that way.
So is there a specific reason as to why, how long should be the bed? Or how do you tell that you have like the length?
Now, talking of the length of the bed, that is, the beds are tailor-made depending on the farmer's specification, what the farmer wants them to do. You can make even 1 kilometer bed. If your farm can allow you, can just make a 1 kilometer bed. You can make a few step bed. You can make 15 meters bed. Like in this section, I have around 12 meters bed. In the other head, I have 20 meters bed. So depending by how your farm looks like, so the length of the bed is not a big factor. As long as you be able to irrigate that bed, make as long as you can. So the length of the bed is not an hindrance. Also, there is something I want you to note. You see the forks of these leaves, they are softly moving inside the soil. They are softly moving inside the soil. That gives you an indication that that soil is loose and it is well done. If your fork cannot move this way, you need to do a repetition and make sure that your soil is well done. So
I know that there are raised beds and there are sunken beds.
They are sunken beds. Yes.
So which one is good, or why did you opt for the raised bed and not a sunken bed?
And a sunken bed. Yes. Now, when choosing the type of bed that you want to work with, which we have raised bed and sunken bed, there are so many factors that you need to consider. Not just waking up because you saw Fred doing this one and decide to do. One among the factors you need to look at is the region that you're in. And talking of the region, is the temperatures in your region. If the place is very cold, is extremely cold, experiences cold night, experiences cold day, and in most cases in cold areas, there is also high humidity level. It rains. You're supposed to do a raised bed. This is to discourage waterlogging or to drain excess water from the bed. Yes, because you can see the height of our bed is allowed 5 to 10 centimeters. So in case there is excess water, that water is below where the roots of the seedlings are. You understand me? If you decide to choose the sunken bed, which I've also been doing the sunken bed, is you settle for the sunken bed because one, the area that you're in is very hot. If you choose the raised bed in hot areas, you lose a lot of water because of the height of the bed. You lose you keep on watering your seedling. So we chose the sunken bed because of one, the region that you're in. Also, other factors other than the region that may lead us to choosing to settling for the bed is the system of irrigation that we use. You may be in a hot area, but you have enough water, and decide, because I'm using drip irrigation, I'm using sprinkler irrigation, I'm going to raise my bed. And in the area that I'm in, it's not very cold, and the system that I'm using is furrow irrigation. I'm going to use the sunken bed. You see? The system of irrigation is also a factor. So those are the things that you consider when forming. Also, on the same point of irrigation, you cannot do drip irrigation under sunken bed. It has to be raised. And the same note, you cannot do flooding or fall irrigation on a raised bed. it becomes not
Yeah.
for the seedlings. I've
Yeah.
seen it with other crops, but not for the seedlings. So for the seedlings, you have to choose
Okay.
that type of bed. So nurseries, when you make the nurseries this way, and some farmers, this is where they bring in the manure.
When you say some farmers,
Yes.
include me.
You are guilty. You are guilty as charged.
I will pour my manure there and try to mix it here.
Yes, I don't recommend that. So many farmers usually go for that because when you do that, like I told you, it will not serve the purpose.
Yeah.
Your manure is very exposed, and I know you usually use the drip irrigation or unless you're using the overhead irrigation or the rainers, you can do it the way you want to. But for the drip irrigation, when you do that, the manure will not serve the purpose.
Yeah.
Just mix it,
I've seen that, yes,
and
yes.
it is going to help your seed. So from there, your bed, you flatten your bed, and you make sure it's very fine. Very fine, very fine, very fine. You see, we are going to work now on this small section. That's good for our class. That's good for our class. So, when you've done your bend that way, you can choose to do the broadcasting of the seeds. There are two different methods of doing the broadcast. You can do the broadcasting, like the ones doing what do you call telele in English, or do you say amaranthas? Yeah, there is that amaranthas. They are very tiny. They are very tiny. So you come spread them, you broadcast them, and you are going to go. But in our case now, for onions, I'm not an expert of broadcasting. I've seen some experts doing the broadcasting and they're making perfectly well. In my case, I don't broadcast and I don't encourage that. I usually do the drilling, doing the drills and pouring the message. So when you talk of the drills, is the lines that we do in our field. And so many farmers, some will use their finger to do the drill. Yes, somebody will do their drill that way and come and pour their seeds. And that's why the books usually tells us a drill is supposed to be 20 centimeters from one drill to the other. So they do the drill this way. You see? They do their drill. You can see how easily you're completing the drill because the bed allows people to work from different sides. So if it were for me, doing it from that side, I would be struggling. For you, you'll be struggling to do it. But once we are, so this is what the books tells us to do. But in my case, I usually follow the principles, not the books. Like my lecturer told me, it's the principles that taught us. So when doing my nurseries, you see the size of my hand. This is what I usually use as my spacing when making my trees. So I takes my head this way and removes the soil.
Oh, so that big?
Yes. It's supposed to be that big.
Why is that?
Yes, we are coming to that point. Then I use the same hand as spacing, you see, and come here again and do another drill. Yes. I come here again and do another drill. And we are going to use that as now. When you choose this type of drill, also there are other factors that may lead to this type of drill. This type of drill is brought in by also the system of irrigation that you're using. You understand me? The system of irrigation that you're using is the factor towards the reason why we are using this drill. If it were for this one now shows that the farmer want to use overhead irrigation, and using overhead irrigation, you can use the watering can. Also, you can use the sprinklers. Or some others who usually go for the rains. The rains are good for this type of drills. Now, for the drip irrigation, remember the drips are running this way. Yes. I usually prefer to use the same hand and do it this way. Okay. You see? that that where I'm going to sow the seeds. The drip will lie here.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
this is where the drip will lie. Now, I'm not going to give it a bigger spacing like that one. I'll come and do another drip, another
Just
drill.
after the line of the drip.
Yes.
Okay.
The line of, so the drip will lie here. Another drip will lie here.
Yes.
We do another drill. You see, we have 2 drips. They can be also 3 drips. So when it comes to according to how the emitters of the drips are made, they are able to splash or to irrigate at least 10 centimeters on this side and 10 centimeters on the other side. That way, when we are installing, it goes sometimes up to 15 centimeters depending on the amount of water. When we are installing the drip, we usually give them a spacing of around 30 to 40 centimeters from one line to the other. Because at the end of it, the water on the bed, you see the water of the bed is well distributed. So for the nursery, I usually give them 30 centimeters from one drip to the other, and goes for the emitter of 15 centimeters from one emitter to the other. At the end of it, you'll think
the place
will be well wet. So when you pour our seeds and cover them, that means the place will be well watered.
Yes.
So after making the drills this way, the reason why the reason why I'm doing these drills is for me to allow me to have a good distribution or a good of my seeds.
Okay.
We are looking after a seed which is very healthy, a seed which is very strong. So you bring them together, you put them together, they becomes very thin because they are competing for space, they are competing for water, they are competing for the nutrition. You are still guilty.
Very.
As charged.
Mine look like size of this.
Yes, or because it's not because of
I've
the variety.
done the one to the other.
Yes. Just try it now. Try this one because now you are able to see where you are dropping your seeds.
Yes.
You drop your seeds with a very good spacing. Unfortunately, we never carried the seeds with us. You could have.
So now you'll plant. Here is an example, and then you plant.
Yes, you just pour the seeds. You pour the seeds equally, distribution. When pouring the seeds, we have 2 techniques of pouring the onion seeds. If your hand cannot be able to pour few number of seeds within a drill, mix them with soil. You can use also the sand to mix them. Like 1 kg, you can use the 2 kgs container. 2 of them, mix them, then come pouring them. It acts as one of the cover. It takes the cover and also for the equal distribution. Yes. So with this, you're able to get a good base to cover your seed, and after that, you usually prefer light covering. We've also tried not covering the seed, and we've seen them germinating very well. All you need is good irrigation. Yes.
Just a light cover.
Light cover. Just give them a light cover.
Not pouring.
Not pouring. One. Talking of light covering. Back in school, the principals they tells us a seed is supposed to be covered twice the size of the seed.
So even until you don't see it anymore.
Like
maize and beans.
No. Maize and beans is different, but the horticultural seed is supposed to be covered twice the size of the seed. You know the size how the onion seed looks like. Yes. So twice that size of the seed. So that's why I'm calling for light covering. Make sure it's light covered. Sometimes when we are covering, I was covering the seeds with my farm manager because I usually do them by myself. We end a discussion on how to cover them, and at some point we left so many seeds uncovered.
Yes.
And the reason why I encouraged them to be left uncovered, we covered few. I knew that because the soil was very loose. After irrigation, because we're using the overhead irrigation, the soil it's going to cover.
Okay.
When you bury the seeds
too much,
too much, you bury them. they're going to take time to germinate, or they will never germinate at all. If you don't cover your seeds, they are going to germinate. I want to give you a very practical example. The grass or the weed in your farm. Who covers them? And they usually germinate 100%.
Wow.
Yes, all because they get water easily, they get warmed easily, and they are able to burst to germinate.
Yes.
So just the way nature does its things, all the trees that germinate in the forest, who covers them? Nobody covers them. And they germinate very well. So what they need is a good surface with moisture, with good heat, then oxygen. For the nutrition, after they've germinated, they are going to get the nutrition. And for another key important thing you need to know, nutrition is not part of germination. The fertilizers, the foliars, and everything that you do is not part of germination.
Okay.
Now the nutrition is food for the seedling that has germinated.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
You are going to pray for this class. So
my people will pay it for me.
Yes, they need to start sending the gifts. So after preparation of the nursery, now we come to the very crucial part. I think we can use this section here. There is something I want you to observe. In these nurseries, they are in a wide furrow. They are not on a straight line as if it's a finger. Their furrows are wide. You see? There is a uniformity, all because of the size of the drill that I made. And you can see they are still germinating. During preparation, we used granulated lime. That is what you seen here, and I thought it was fertilizer. This was to control the nursery pH. It's not part of germination. It was not used during germination, but now as we speak, this is now the time we are using the granule. So many farmers have quite a good number of farmers have been able to produce the nurseries, have been able to make the best drill, and have been able to achieve the best germination. But now the music start going south, or the music start playing, solo music start playing when they get the germination. Like
and
I told
before that, I have a question. You've not done anything to your seeds after you buy them from the agrovet and everything. Do you mix them with anything, or?
After buying for the onion seeds, we are talking of the onion seeds.
Yes.
I've not done anything to the onion seed.
Removed them from the pack and
removed them from the pack and sown them. I've done a video about sowing the nursery seedling. If you want to confirm whether that is true, you can go check that video. Opening the bag and pouring them. So there is no treatment that I did, not like the watermelon where we break the dormancy, or like the capsicum where we break the dormancy. This one I've been sowing direct from the pack. Yes. So after sowing them, like I told you, this is the 8th day.
And which variety is it?
This is Africa Red. It's an hybrid variety. Not the best variety, so many. I usually see on the comment section, and I'm pretty sure also on the comment section that will be which is the best variety that you can do. Now that you brought in the issue of variety, there are so many things that you need to consider when selecting a variety.
Yes.
And because I mentioned Africa Red, somebody somewhere will go to the agrovet, buy Africa Red.
Yes, I want Africa Red.
Because Fred said that. Go sow the African land, and next week you'll you learn, you see me in the headline of the TV station that I'm in court because I lied to people that Africa led is the best. When selecting a variety, there are key factors or there are things that you need to look at.
Okay.
Among the things that you need to look at is the climatic condition of your area.
Very important.
Very important. And that is not for the nursery. You know, when considering your area is for the growing part. Where you, after transplanting, that's what you need to consider.
Yes.
Different onions are made for different regions.
I did not know that.
That's an added fee that you need to pay after this session. Different cost, different areas deserve different varieties of onions. Saying so, we have areas with high humidity, areas with high humidity and very cold areas. In areas with high humidity, always they are always cold. There is a different variety that does best on that area. We have the mid-run that receives certain amount of rainfall and the temperatures are not very high and they are not very dry. That area has different type of onion. We have the hot areas, like the coastal region, like the Ukambani region, hot areas. They have their own type of variety.
True.
You see? So when selecting a variety, one thing you have to consider is those climatic conditions, because we are from different climatic conditions.
Yes.
I may not be in a position to talk about the winter, the people that receive the winter climate, because we are in tropics. I've concentrated so much on learning about tropics crop and how we can do it. In East Africa, we are tropics, we don't experience winter. So from the climatic condition, we also looking at the color of the onions, the final bulb. The final bulb, we have different colors of the bulb.
And sizes.
And yes, sizes we are going to come to that. It's also a factor. The color of the bulb, there is a white onion, you've seen a white onion, and there is a purplish, is it purple or red?
Purple.
Purple, yes, the way we call it, women, we call it red. It's red in color. There is that color of the onion. So it's also a big factor when you select the variety, because different varieties have different colors. Another factor we consider when selecting a variety is the size. Different varieties gives different sizes. There are varieties that gives big sizes. There are varieties that give medium sizes. And also when talk of the sizes, also the shape. There is some varieties that somehow looks round. There are somehow that look oval. Yeah, so depending by the variety, by the size you want, the color you want, the climatic condition, those are the factors that you need to look. Last but not least, and a very important aspect when selecting a variety is the period they take to maturity.
Okay.
There is a variety you're going to do today to take up to 5 months.
Oh,
yes, some variety takes 4 to 5 months. But now for the variety that I have in, this is 90 to 100 days I'm in the market. Not from sowing, from transplant. The factors, the nursery factor, I think almost all the varieties have similar characteristics when it comes to the nursery factor.
okay.
So the nursery factor is common, but the growing factor now to the market is what differs. Some takes 90 days, some takes even 75 days. I've seen a variety taking 75 days. Others take 80 days, 90 days, 100 days. In my case, I'm in a 90 to 100 days. Other takes 4 months, other takes 5 months. So depending by you as a farmer, you as an investor, what the length of time you need to take.
And that is like when all the factors are constant.
When all the factors are constant. the skill set.
Because you may not also take 150 days and you have a small bulb.
So unfortunate.
Because you've done everything wrong.
Yeah, that's why now the package of skill set comes in.
Yeah.
And I'm coming in as a player in the skill set. Because I know so many farmers can be able to buy the fertilizers, the chemicals they need, the strongest manpower.
Yeah.
But now the skill set. How to do it
and
at what time.
And
Yes, and that is what we learn. All the subscribers or the people that are following me, I'm going to give them the best of the best skills they may be led for them to succeed to be a better farmer. There is no, after this, I joined the Guinness Book of Record, being as one farmer who's given all the episodes of onion farming. By the way, I give them all the episodes of watermelon farming. If you want to learn about watermelon farming, go to the channel from A to Z up to the market. The same thing with the onions. I'm going to give them bit by bit. Yes. And if by the end of the season they give me around 500 subscribers in this onion, I'm going to give them all the onions that I farm. If by then I get 500 subscribers, I give them all the onions that I'm going to get in this.
Interesting.
I'm going to give it to the subscribers.
To the subscribers.
Yes. So tell your friend to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If we hit 500 subscribers by the end of the season, we come to the farm, everybody carries the 500 subscribers, we all carry the audience with us. Yes, so it's a win-win. Yes, so now we come to the very serious point of management, and that is this point, or that from when we sow our seedlings.
After they germinate.
The first thing you need to look at, remember our first consideration when setting up a farm, when setting up a nursery, was irrigation.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing you need to look at. Irrigation is a factor.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're not asking that question, but I'm going to bring up the question for you, and that has been the big concern to the most of my followers on Facebook, on X, and also on YouTube channel. They have been asking, why are you not doing the mulching? The mulching is covering the seed. Why do we need the mulching? The reason why we usually go for the mulching is one, to conserve nutrition, to conserve moisture, to make sure that we have enough moisture. And you see, if you want to know that you have enough moisture, is you can be able to form a ball out of your soil. Another thing is to have enough good heat intensity, or the soil is well heat for germination, the warmth we talked about, and last but not least, to have enough oxygen. So the mulch is to conserve the moisture. That's the biggest deal. Because if you have heat and there is no moisture, it ends up killing the seed. So in my case, I usually have enough water. I don't want to start baptizing you, but before we end the session, I'm going to show you how everything is done. So irrigation is among the biggest factor when it comes to listening your seedling, and that's the first input. That's the first thing you need to do. If you go buy the best fertilizer, you go buy the best chemical without irrigation water, you are not going to have anything. So first thing first, have enough water. First thing first, have available water. Enough and availability should be the factor.
So if you have all that, you don't need to mulch.
In my case, I don't. There is no need to mulch, and I've already proven it. Not saying it, I've proven it. It's evident I've never mulched. If you don't believe me, go to the first video that we did. You see how we are doing it, and you can see there's no grass mulch here. What you've been doing is doing the irrigation. But on the same note of doing the irrigation, it timed irrigation, not just after you've taken your lunch, you are no longer thinking, your stomach is is leading you. Now you think now, after sleeping, you've taken a nap, you wake up now, dreaming in irrigation, you come and start irrigating. No. It's supposed to be timely irrigation. If it's cold, avoid irrigation. If it's cold, avoid irrigation. If it's very hot, keep irrigating. If it's 2 once evening, like 3 hours, 2 once night, don't do irrigation. I've seen farmers, they are, quite a good number of farmers are in 8 to 5 job. So they are doing their job, they are managing you are as guilty as charged. You're still guilty.
Conversation for another day.
So when they come from their work at around 7, that's when they come and they irrigate their seedlings. When you do the evening irrigation, you are inviting so many problems. Among them, and the biggest problem is the fungal diseases. The fungal diseases thrives very well when it's cold and when it's humid. Remember, in most cases, at night, don't look at our house temperatures. The outside temperatures is what matters. The outside temperatures are very low. At some point, they are between 15 to 18 there. So it's cold for the crop. And when it's cold in the atmosphere, it's also cold in the soil. You've invited the fungal disease, and the worst fungal disease, and that is the disease we are going to discuss today, is the damping off. It eats the seedling from germination up to when you transplant it.
So now what's the best time to irrigate?
You're supposed to irrigate your seedlings when it's not cold or when the temperatures are allowing it. When you can walk around the farm on your t-shirt. You can irrigate your farm. But you've put on your jacket and you've put on your 50 kgs jacket. Please don't irrigate your seedlings. You'll be killing them with fungal diseases.
Wow.
So that's the first precaution when it comes to managing the seedlings. How you do your irrigation. And now when I talk of skill set, this is where now the skill set hits very hard. Yes. So irrigation, that's the first precaution we need to look at.
Wow.
From there, you need to maintain the irrigation because, like you see, the seedlings are, they may end up being scorched by hot sun. So, and remember, also erecting a shade, it's not cheap. Like in this area, I have 16 beds. 16 beds, bringing the shade and everything, it's not cheap. So we solve this by keeping the sprinkler rolling. Those who are using the watering can, or those who are using the hose pipe. By the way, those who are using the hose pipe, don't irrigate your nursery directly from the hose. Use the watering can head, irrigate. To irrigate. Those who are using the rain-hose are very lucky because you keep on monitoring the irrigation. You can do like a 10-minute irrigation and stop every hour do just to cool the seedling and making sure that the moisture content is in. Yes. That will help the seedling and be able to run away from fungal diseases and good uptake of nutrition.
Good.
So from also on the fungal, if by any chance you are affected by fungal diseases, we usually go, we have some biological products to curb or to fight the problem. Also, we have to curb the problem. Our product, like in my case, I usually use a product that has mancozeb.
What are those?
That is healer. When the seedlings are already raised, it comes to heal. The mancozeb active ingredient is a preventive, just like putting on the jacket. You see, when you're nose, you are told keep warm. You put on the jacket and you take some medication.
Okay.
So the metalaxyl is what the medication you take to heal. The jacket is what to prevent, to keep you warm. So that's the concept.
Okay.
Yes. So from there, your seedlings will be well protected from diseases. Also, you need to come up with also preventing them from cutting insects. As you can see, they are very young. and they are very susceptible to cutting insect. So you need to keep them off, or you need to make sure that you protect them as much you can to make sure that the seedlings are good and they are okay, so there is nothing that is affecting them.
So now what's the spring problem? How frequently should we spray?
Now, because sometimes some of the problems like the pests and the diseases may be so unpredictable, we usually have a weekly spray plan of a pesticide and a fungicide. And also on top of that, we can use a nutrition approach where we apply the foliar. But up to this point, we haven't applied, we just applied one foliar, but we haven't applied the granular fertilizer, which is, because they are very young, they cannot feed from the ground. But from the next week, when we get all the seedlings and they are big enough, we are going to apply our first, granular fertilizer. But now that is also another class I'm going to share with you. That it's a big class. Yes. So at this point, weekly plan of a combination, a cocktail of nutrition, foliar, a fungicide, and a pesticide. In most cases, the pesticide we use a pesticide with a knockdown effect. A pesticide, if it comes and meets a pest here, it is going to kill it immediately. Because you cannot wait for the slow killer pesticide, especially the biological products. Some of biological products and some of organic products, they are not quick knockdown. By the time it's 2 days here, the pest will die, but still it will have done some damage. So you need a pesticide that will kill the insect and will be there for at least 5 days. So that's why I'm advocating for a weekly.
And week here is 5 days, not
Weekly here is 5 days.
Not 7 days.
7 days is too much. You can wait for 7 days, but it's a lot for us. Sometimes even 4 days. We cannot wait for the 5th day. If we do, we see a problem. Other than the program, the weekly program, we also have the daily scouting, monitoring from line to line, line to line. There is no free time for the farmer.
So when you wake up in the morning, you come and check.
We come and check. My farm manager checks. I also check. I check. He counter check. So if we check, he's the first to check today. I go counter check. Tomorrow I check. He comes and counter check.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there is a thing that says the high of the sheep owner, the high of the farmer fattens the sheep.
Okay.
What the farmer sees makes the sheep fat or the goat fat. That is what I'm talking about when I say counter check. The farm manager, sometimes he has a lot of work to do, not only in this section. We also have so many visitors that we usually receive here. We also we have daily menu of cooking, so everything is under one look. So it checks and I counter check. Yes, because like I said, this is the critical part of it. Yes. So talking of, we've discussed about the use of foliar. At the moment, we are using a phosphorus rich foliar.
Okay.
Yes, when you talk of phosphorus rich foliar, there is no single foliar that has phosphorus and lacks nitrogen. You'll never see a phosphorus alone. Obviously, it comes with nitrogen, but the phosphorus is high. I'm going to show them at the moment. From next week, I'll be showing them the products. Those who are interested to see the product. It's unfortunate I never carried them with me today. The product that I'll be using from next week. So that is what is supposed to be used. And I told you when we are there, you remind me, I tell you about a nitrogenous product that farmers use in their nurseries, and it end up messing them. You've heard farmers saying that after the ammunition, use urea. You've heard of urea. You know urea.
I know urea.
Urea, it has around, I think it's around 46% nitrogen, if I'm not wrong. Very strong nitrogen, and it's single nitrogen, no phosphorus, no potassium, nothing. It's just, it has that nitrogen. So when you use urea at this stage, do you know urea is a command? You know what that command, every nutrition applet is a command. Hmm? You've seen, let me bring the point home. You've seen ladies of this skin tone, of this color, like my color, that want to whiten their skin. What do they use? They use a product to whiten the skin, to make the skin light. That's a command. They are commanding the producer of melanin, whatever makes the skin dark, to suppress it and to bring in the whitening. The same approach happens with the nutrition. Every nutrient you use is a command. There is something that you are commanding. When you use phosphorus has a very strong command because you are telling the plant, make fibrous roots. When you use phosphorus, when you use phosphorus, you are telling the plant, make a strong stem. And when you use nitrogen, you are giving a plant only one command: make a big leaf. So when you use urea at this stage, you are making your seedlings leafy. And you are making the leaves at expense of the stem and the roots. Back to the drawing board, to the principles. Today I'll talk about a lot about the principles. These are concepts that is not in books. From my observation, in a plant, the plant has three main sections. It has the root, we have the stem, and we have the leaves. The fruits and the bulb is as a result of these three aspects. The root is the mouth of the plant. The stem is the network, or is the road, the super highway, the highway of the plant. The leaf is the company, or is the industry that produces the food for the plant. You cannot have a big factory, yet the workers or the mouth is small and the root is, the highway is small. At the end of it, the industry that produces food will collapse because it will have less food that is given to them. So when you use the nitrogen, you expand the factory. But you cannot have a big network, a big roots or the mouth, and a big highway minus a small factory. The factory is always directly proportional to the root and the stem. Because like I told you, the phosphorus comes in with the nitrogen. And now the fruit that you see is as a result of how best you've worked for the three. That are among the best concepts that I usually keep for myself and that I usually earn money, good money with. So those are the things that you need to consider. And from there, this is our first week. We are already in our first week. And when we started, we were looking forward not for 10 weeks because some onions goes for 10 weeks. We are looking forward for 6 weeks. But now we are waiting for another 4 weeks to go. The nursery training will continue for the next 5 weeks. I will continue doing the nursery training before you relocate now and continue from here and go to the main field. So this is just but the beginning. I'm lucky to have had you to open up our today's training on the nurseries, and more farmers are invited for this session for the for farm visit to come and learn. Those who cannot visit, the YouTube channel is there, the Facebook page Farm with Fred is there, the LinkedIn is there, the X Farm with Fred is there, all for me to dispense the skills and the knowledge to make the better farmers. So we've not yet completed our session. We've done with the nutrition, we've done with the management. That is 8 weeks old. This is 6 weeks old. 6 days, not 6 weeks. Yes, and now we come to this section so that we can talk about the spacing, and so that now we can conclude our training. So after the nurseries and after the seedlings are mature, we come. Let me put this one. It has already started forming fruit. We come to this section here.
Okay.
This the right seedling that is supposed to be planted or that is supposed to be sown. That is supposed to be planted from the seedling.
Yes.
This is the right size.
Okay.
And this size of seedling, with the nutritional approach, with the disease control, you are going to get this.
Okay.
And bringing it here on its seed bed, this we call this seed bed, that the nursery bed. Remember, when considering the aspect of nutrition, there is something I told you about the size of the seed bed. Also, the spacing that you give your seedling matters a lot. Matters a lot. And now we have three types of farmers who are growing their onions. We have a farmer who is doing them under rain-fed. There are even four. A farmer doing them under rain-fed, a farmer doing them under drip irrigation, a farmer doing them under furrow irrigation, and a farmer doing them under sprinkler irrigation.
Yes.
I realize as a farmer now who doing them under sprinkler irrigation.
Yes.
Sometimes our spacing differs.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
spacing differs.
Okay.
Because like a farmer who is doing them under furrow irrigation and under sprinkler irrigation, we do them not in a straight line,
haphazard.
but maintaining the
Scattered.
spacing, scattered way, but maintaining the spacing. In my case here, I've been maintaining a spacing of between 5 centimeters to 7 centimeters because I'm looking forward to have a medium-sized bulb. But there is another farmer who want a bigger size of a bulb. They are going to maintain between 7 centimeters from one plant to the other, up to there. 7 centimeters up to 10 centimeters. That is what they are going to consider. And in my case now, I've used 5 centimeters. Yes. That is what I've used today. And that is a big class for another day when we will be doing our transplanting or preparing the land. It's coming. This was a pure class. I've not even told them that I did some few beds here. Whatever I've been hearing to them is about the nurseries. Yeah, so before we conclude, let me, I am switched off the system, the irrigation system manually. Let me put it on and we continue with our conversation.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining this great and amazing conversation with Farm with Fred. Right now he wants to shower me with sprinklers. Thank you so much. If you're new here, please subscribe to that channel. If this is your first time, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, a comment or a question on your end would be awesome. Fred will get back to you. And if you do not know about Mbuvi Farm, I think Fred was waiting for this so that I back it myself. My name is Emma. I'm the CEO of Mbuvi Farm. We are in Facebook, we are in YouTube, we are in TikTok. So please subscribe also to our channel. Come to our channel where we'll discuss more about farming, sustainable living and all that. And I'm very excited that I've been able to come to this amazing, big. If Fred is telling you that this is a small farm, it's not a small farm. So it's a very, very huge farm. And he's doing quite a lot of amazing work. I do not want to shower right now, even though it's very hot. It's very hot, but I do not want to shower. So please come over here.
You're not going to run away from the farm experience. You came here because of farm experience. So showering is part of the farm experience. As you can see that how I usually do my irrigation, it's just starting up. After now the pipe is full of water. You see how beautiful it usually is, and breathtaking. It's among the farming is therapeutic. Farming is kind of healing everybody needs to be experiencing once in a while. After a long struggle in town, after the stresses from the office, you just come and experience the sound of the irrigation, because from you've come here, you've not learned any other sound. burn the first out from the side of irrigation. So it's as beautiful as it is. Yes, yes. And respecting it.
Want me to shower?
Yes, yes. So that's how, when I talk of cooling the seedling, you can see how good it is, how it's doing, it's falling the seed. Usually we open them hourly. We can open for 1 hour. Have them settle because we don't also want to over irrigate. Yes. Also in the evening, usually give them at least 3 to 4 hours before sunset for the seedlings not to be wet at night, which is a disaster. Also, when you think of applying any product, be it a nutrition product, be it a pest disease control, you need irrigation for you to be able to after the application. Yeah, for it to be able to circulate well. Yes, 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 yes. I'm so happy to have you and to be baptized. I'm so happy that you've joined me. For those who've been watching us, I'm very happy. I don't take it for granted that you've joined me for this live show, the longest live show I've ever had. And don't forget to follow Booby Farm and see what she's doing. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Booby Farm, Facebook at Booby Farm. Also, those who've not joined my Facebook at Farm with Fred. I'm not very active on TikTok, but I'll start dancing. TikTok needs a lot of dancing.
No, you can dig.
I can dig. Okay,
Yes,
okay, okay.
yes, yes.
The reason why I usually run from TikTok is because of dancing. I'm not a good dancer.
You can dig and
Yes.
then you can tag the long form
Yes.
of YouTube or whatever you're doing
Yes.
to YouTube. And then
Nice.
if you want the long form, you go to YouTube.
Thank you, Emma. I'm so happy and I'm so excited to have you. Before we head, what is your closing remarks? What was your view?
I'm
How
very
was
happy
it?
to be here. I don't think I want to go back to Nairobi and to the life that I'm used to, but I'm very grateful. This is so therapeutic. Thank you so much for hosting. I know we planned for this for quite a while, but here I am. I'm super grateful. I've learned quite a lot on onion, things that I didn't know, things that I took for granted, things that I thought, oh, okay. And we will have all this big discussion because I still have a few questions on other things, not
Yes.
onion. I'm very, and I'm looking forward to the transplant.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe I'll be here for the
Yeah, you need to be present during transplanting day. It will be an exciting. I think that day everything should be live from morning to evening. We need to do like 8 hours of live training about the transplant. Yeah, because it's something farmers need to know. It's something farmers need to get firsthand for them to better whatever they do. Yes. So, to our viewers, I'm so happy that you've joined me. Those who've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, kindly subscribe so that we can continue learning together.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. We are going back to shower.
Yeah.